When I was a girl, my mother told me stories about her childhood. Sarah was trying to recall her memories. Although she was 91 years old, she spoke energetically. In 1886, my grandfather, Rabbi Abram Oshit, lived in Jerusalem, Palestine, Sarah recalled. He was a Kabbalist, one of the most educated and popular rabbis of Jerusalem and one of the richest people in the country. He and his wife Beetle shaped a wonderful future for their only daughter, Jeannie. Even though they had only one child, which contradicted the tradition of having many children in a Jewish family, his daughter never felt alone. Their neighbors, the Goldenberg family, had 3 girls, Celia, Hannah, and Reva. Reva was the youngest, and she befriended Jeannie. The girls grew up together, thus making the relationship between these 2 families very strong. Sadly, neither Abram's wealth nor influence could get a hold of their peaceful and prosperous life due to the danger that all Jews were facing. Arab terror and the difficult conditions with the Arabs around didn't give them any hope for a stable and safe life. It wasn't a question of whether they had to leave the country or not, but rather when and where they had to go. A story of the fatefully long journeys of these 2 families from Jerusalem to Eastern Europe remained untold. We only know that only Reva and her mother survived in the Goldenberg family. The Arabs raped Celia and Hannah in front of their father's eyes, and then murdered the father and the girls while Reva with her mother were in hiding. In Europe, Jews were allowed to live in small towns that were located far away from big cities. One of these towns, Israelivka, Ukraine, became their new home. Rabbi Oshit managed to save his valuable belongings to provide his family with a better quality of life. Jeannie was a princess in her house. Her mother lavished her with love and care, and a nanny was ready to satisfy all of her whims at any time. Jeannie and Reva were very close friends. They went to the same school, where they shared their secrets and dreams. The most desirable dream was to love and be loved. Jeannie was 18 when she met Gabriel, a red-headed young man with fire in his eyes, temper in his body, and passion for the revolutionary ideas. Gabriel was so different from everything Jeannie knew. She was brought up to only be a wife and a mother to dozens of kids. However, Gabriel's spirit and innovative ideas of equality, freedom, and socialism inspired her young tender soul. Knowing perfectly well that they would never approve it, Jeannie kept her relationship with Gabriel a secret from her parents. Although she trusted her secret to Reva, her only friend, Reva didn't like it at all. In contrast, she was very determined to become a wife of a respectful and well-known man. "I don't think it's a good idea, Jeannie." Reva tried to talk her friend out of being part of it. "But, listen, he is so. It doesn't matter, Jeannie." Reva interrupted her. "This is not how it has to be done. If you love him and he loves you, he has to come to your parents in an appropriate way and ask for your hand." "But you don't understand, Reva. Just listen." "I do, Jeannie. I do understand that you are in love. I hear you, but you don't hear me. You are in love, and you don't see what I see. There are certain rules, and when you go against these rules, you take a risk. I don't understand why you would want to take a risk. Why, if he can't come to your parents as a gentleman, tell them about his intentions, and marry you? I'll try to explain this to you. He has different ideas about the world and life. We don't have to continue to be stubborn and proud. If only you come one time to our meeting and listen to what he is saying, you would change your mind. Jeannie, my life is good, and I don't want to challenge it." Reva stopped the argument. She didn't fall for these ideas and refused to take any part of it. Jeannie didn't follow her best friend's advice. She got involved with the secret meetings of the revolutionary group led by Gabriel. They talked about the poor and hopeless lives of the public and the Tsar's prosperity. They dreamed about a better life for everybody, with peace, happiness, and equality among all genders and religions. Gabriel's speeches sounded so magnificent. Jeannie not only felt loved, but she also was his best friend and supporter. The revolutionary group started to work on the Tsar's assassination plan. They would send an agent to the Tsar's palace to investigate the guard schedule and other palace routines. They studied the palace and drew up its plan. They watched the palace meticulously and made a list of all the people involved at the palace. Then, they contacted some of those people to get more information and help to put their plan in action. However, their plan failed. The agent contacted the wrong people, and was promptly arrested and interrogated. All the members of the group were caught and convicted, including Gabriel and Jeannie. Gabriel was sent to Siberia for 10 years and died soon after, unable to survive the severe Siberian prison conditions. Jeannie was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but was released 2 years early. Being a prisoner was usually highly shameful for a Jewish woman, but Jeannie was an exception to the rule. Her voice was beautiful, clear, and rich, so she started to sing at a local synagogue. The parishioners never missed a chance to listen to her singing, and therefore, the synagogue benefited from her. Soon, Jeannie became very popular. And the fact that she was a former political prisoner gave her a mysterious quality. Her best friend, Riva, had been teaching in a local private school for some time already and had a very good reputation. Jeannie knew several languages, so Riva introduced her to the school principal, and soon, Jeannie became a teacher. The kids and their parents loved her. It looked like Jeannie's life had turned back to normal, but her parents, Abram and Beetle, weren't happy. That wasn't the life they saw for their only daughter. They wanted her to become a wife and a mother, but it wasn't happening. They were trying to find a man for her. But Jeannie was in deep emotional pain from her lost love and had no interest in any other men. However, she once noticed a police officer visiting the synagogue. When she sung, he set his eyes on her and never looked away. He was tall and handsome, with a trim, athletic body, a captivating smile, and enormous self-confidence, giving him the impression that the entire world belonged to him. At first, Jeannie wasn't comfortable with his attention and hid her glance, but she already wanted him. "Who is that guy, Daddy?" she asked Abram. "It's Isaac, the chief police officer, a very respectful man," he replied. "He's single, though he's a little bit too old for you, by 11 years, Abram added. Isaac liked Jeannie for her beautiful voice, attractive face, and popularity, but most of all, he liked her for being the only daughter of the wealthiest man of the town. That was exactly what he wanted. Isaac was popular among women and experienced in dealing with them. He knew Jeannie's story and didn't rush. He watched her persistently, distracting her from her singing performance with his steely, relentless glance, and she trembled in weak thrill, wanting him. Isaac gave her just enough time to fall for him and then appeared on Abram's doorsteps as a proper gentleman. The two men spoke in private for some time, and then he left. "Jeannie, Isaac asked for your hand in marriage," Abram said. "I didn't give him any answer yet. I wanted to talk to you first." He looked at his daughter with hope. He had longed to have a grandchild. Though her quick answer shocked him. "Okay, Daddy," she simply said. "I'll marry him. Do you like him at all?" He was not sure. "Yes, Daddy. I like him a lot," Jeannie replied, filling Abram with a surprised joy. While getting ready for the greatest celebrations of their life, Abram and Beetle invited the entire town to their daughter's wedding. It was the happiest day of their lives. Jeannie was getting married. Riva was delighted to be the bridesmaid and spent her entire time preparing for the wedding. She planned her hairstyle, shoes, and choice of makeup meticulously, and designed a dress that she sewed herself. She spent a lot of time in front of a mirror enjoying her beautiful reflection. She was gorgeous. But the upcoming wedding was not the only reason of her loveliness. She was in love. She'd been secretly seeing Moshe Liba for a couple of months. He was such a joyful young man. He knew all the songs in the world, and sang them so well. Moshe attended military school, which was an honor for a Jewish boy, and his army uniform fitted him well. For Riva, he was a hero, the best of the best. She lived with hope to hear from Moshe the magnificent words, "Marry me." Riva was so distracted with her dreams and constant urge to look for Moshe that the wedding ceremony passed through her presence like a pleasant dream. She awakened from her dreams in a ballroom, when Moshe invited her to dance. She trembled, expecting him to propose. Would he? Riva looked at the just-married couple as they danced, dreaming that someday, and probably very soon, she would wear the same kind of wedding dress. No, I'll be more elegant, she thought. I don't need this kind of wide and puffy gown. I need a plain dress that would make me tall and thin. It will have a high queen collar, narrow on the bottom and wide at the top. I will have a gown below my waist. I'll sew flowers from my right shoulder all the way down to my left. And I would have just one flower on my hat with a short veil. I think that would be enough. Her thoughts were interrupted when she met Isaac's glance. Riva sent him a friendly smile, as one always does to congratulate a person, and looked away. However, she knew that he continued looking at her, while dancing with his bride. What does he want from me? This is so inappropriate, she thought with alarm. Oh my God. Maybe there's something wrong with my appearance. Yes, that's probably what it is. What if Moshe saw it? She panicked. However, she didn't find anything wrong when they passed a mirror during a dance. Isaac kept looking at her every time when his bride was occupied with something else. Riva couldn't understand why he looked at her like that. This kind of glance had to be addressed to his wife only. She was also confused because she liked his attention. Her Moshe was right next to her, and she wouldn't let this feeling bother her. She pulled herself together and just looked away, never returning his glance again. Moshe proposed. Riva's wedding wasn't as big and pompous as Jeannie's, but she felt very confident. She had made the dress and the gown just the way she wanted. And she looked very elegant. Jeannie and Isaac were invited, of course, and Riva felt Isaac's stare on her all the time. She felt uncomfortable but enjoyed the sensation. Prohibited and delicious as it was only natural for any family to start having kids, so, one after the other, with 1 year apart, Jeannie and Isaac had 3 children: Fega, Sarah, and Aaron, and 4 years later, a baby boy, Meir, joined the family. Riva and Moshe also had 4 children, all of them 1 year apart: Samuel, Celia, Hannah, and Simon. Jeannie and Riva enjoyed motherhood as much as they enjoyed each other's company, friendship, and support. However, something happened between the young women. Prior to Jeannie's marriage, Riva always spent a lot of time in Jeannie's house. However, as soon as Isaac moved in, Riva avoided coming, making up different reasons every time. Every time the opportunity emerged, Isaac would touch her hand and pat her shoulder, making it look like a friendly jest. When Riva came to Jeannie's house, Isaac's penetrating glance bothered her. He never improperly spoke to her, but she felt like they had some kind of intimate relationship. Nobody ever noticed anything strange in their relationship. But Riva didn't feel this way and tried to avoid any contact with her friend's husband.